The Union in many ways had the upper hand during the war. The industrialized North had better weapons and transportation, as well as more food and a bigger army in comparison to the agricultural South. They also had a strong government under the powerful leader Lincoln. Without any opposing parties, Lincoln was able to prepare the North for war, financially and adding soldiers to the army with the controversial conscription process.
There are many problems that the Confederacy side had to face, one being that they had fewer soldiers than the Union side, the reasons being that the idea of conscription did not work as effectively because there was much corruption and unorganized government. Despite all these obstacles, the South was able to have some power over the North by having a deep knowledge of the land and where to plan sneak attacks, leaving the Union soldiers puzzled. Also, the Union had to use the South's low-quality transportation. With the improvement of artillery, which would now be repeating weapons, it helped with the new form of sneak attacks that both sides would use and create more damage to the other side. Lincoln was nominated by the Republican Party and won with over 212 electoral votes. However, his popular vote was very slim in comparison.
In order to motivate troops and help bring people into the army, Lincoln often took disturbing pictures of the Civil War. This was the first time that war pictures were used for propaganda.
The Emancipation Proclamation stated that all slaves under Confederate land were permanently free. However, it didn't apply to the border states, but the Declaration did help promote slaves to join the Union Army since they would be more loyal.
At the war's end, woman was at least 50 years in advance of the normal position which continued peace would have assigned her. That was a quote by Clara Barton. In the Civil War, women realized that they were needed on the battlefield as nurses, and they kept being nurses even though male doctors opposed it. They also were left with no husbands or brothers or sons to help them on their farms and businesses. This inspired a lot of women to fight for equality later on. Lincoln had trouble finding a general he could trust, but found confidence in General Grant, who went on to win the war with his great strategies. But Grant couldn't be a good general without his army, who were often very committed to the cause. The First Battle of Bull Run was a blow to the Union. They wanted to quickly defeat the Confederacy and end the war. The battle, however, proved otherwise when the Confederacy fought back and did quite well.
Despite his high command, Lee struggled trying to find a voice because Confederate President Davis constantly overpowered his authority.
Lee, however, did have an army also committed to their cause.
In the Battle of Gettysburg, the Confederate soldiers were outnumbered by the Union forces, and attempting to overtake them seemed nearly impossible. After the battle, the Confederacy lost about one-third of their soldiers, and it showed the dwindling power that they had.
By the end of the war, the Confederacy had clearly lost. Seeing no other way, the Confederacy decided to surrender. And go. Go!
Despite all these obstacles, the South